and welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. We're going to be introducing you to the next head men's basketball coach at Georgia Southern. We'll also getting a little creative here, going out to try to find some sports since all the games and most of the seasons have been canceled in and around town. We're able to go out and talk to one of the Southeast Bullock track and cross-country standouts, Avery Jaynes, who continues to train regardless of whether the season will continue or not. We're also going to pay a visit to a couple of former Georgia Southern greats in Adrian Peterson and Greg Hill, whose sons are making a name for themselves on the track in both AAU and in local track meets. All that and more coming up in just a moment. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Trust your eyes to the team that takes care of the Eagles. Professional Eye Care of Statesboro offers a full range of medical eye care, in addition to a wide assortment of glasses, sunglasses, and contact lenses to suit your style.
I'm Dr. Horace Deal. Allow me or one of my associates to provide you with comprehensive medical eye care. And we can help you select from a variety of glasses and contact lenses here at Professional Eye Care of Statesboro.
Well, despite the school being closed, there's been plenty of news out of the Georgia Southern Athletic Department. Of course, a few weeks back, they announced that Jared Benko would be the new athletic director right after he's hired. The school's teams seem to be doing pretty well. Then everything comes to a screeching halt as the NCAA announces that they are not going to play any championships, and all the schools around the country follow suit, closing schools as well as ending the seasons for all the spring sports. Good news came this week is that the NCAA will be granting a 5th year of eligibility to all of this year's seniors. So anyone that was a member of any of the spring sports, including golf, softball, baseball, track and field, they will be able to have an extra year of eligibility. It's up to the schools to depend on how they're going to go through as far as the scholarships go. But that's good news for a lot of the Georgia Southern athletes as well as athletes throughout the country. As for the Georgia Southern men's basketball program, it was announced this past week that Mark Byington was leaving Georgia Southern to take over the reins at James Madison University. Byington left after 3 straight 20-win seasons for the Eagles to take over James Madison. And then earlier this week, Athletic Director Jared Benko announced that they have found a new head coach, and that is Texas Tech assistant coach Brian Burg. Burg comes over after leading Texas Tech or helping to lead Texas Tech to the NCAA championship game a year ago. They've been there for 4 seasons. He, along with their head coach Chris Beard. Before that, Beard and Burg were both at Arkansas Little Rock, where they helped lead the Trojans to the 2015-16 Sun Belt Championship. They also had a 30-win season, which was school record best. Before that, Burg was also an assistant coach under former Georgia Southern assistant coach Robbie Lang, who was then the head coach at Campbell for 6 seasons. There's a press conference scheduled for Friday, and we'll give you highlights from the press conference and questions that we were able to talk to Coach Burg about for you next week. All right, well, stay with us. Coming up next, we'll visit with a couple of former Eagle greats on the football field who are trying to help their sons both on the gridiron as well as on the track.
the presidency?
Hey, so here's what it is. Hey, Sherelle. Hey, y'all still have that barbecue this weekend? All right, come give me a $5 plate now. Now, where were we?
You were telling us a little more about the presidency.
Right, so listen, my job here is to make floors in America look great again. That being said, you know, flooring is literally the foundation of this great country. So if you're on the market and you want some more flow for your dough, take a second and vote Mo.
My Queensboro banker is Cheryl Quick.
Blanchard Equipment Company has 16 locations.
Queensboro has homegrown values just like us.
They get heavily involved in every community.
And that means strong customer service.
They've been around a long time, just like John Deere.
When you run across the bank like that, you stick with them.
I sure would like to own one of these John Deeres.
Well, we can sure make that happen.
Oh, well.
Queensboro is your community bank. Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
Well, former Georgia Southern greats Greg Hill and Adrian Peterson will forever be linked together for helping to lead the Eagles back to national prominence, taking the Eagles to the 1998 National Championship game where they were 14-0 before finally falling in the championship and then turning around and winning the national championship in 1999. The two have remained close friends off the field since then, and most recently have gotten back together as their sons are both doing very well in athletics, particularly on the track. Greg Hill and Adrian Peterson will forever be linked together for the success they had on the football field as teammates at Georgia Southern. With Hill at quarterback and Peterson at B-back, Georgia Southern went 27-3 in 98 and 99, playing in 2 championship games and bringing home 1 title. Opposing coaches can breathe a sigh of relief that the days of going up against Peterson and Hill are over, but are they? A quick look at the recent results from this month's Bullitt County track meet sees those familiar names back on top. 12-year-old Dallas Hill took first place in the boys 12 and under 100 and 200 meter dashes, while 11-year-old Aiden Peterson was second in both events and won the long jump. The two sons of the legendary duo have been making a name for themselves competing in AAU meets and local competitions. It's no surprise the longtime friends are helping their sons try to achieve their goals.
I introduced Dallas to football when he's probably a year old, and so we would go out and work and stuff, but it was a lot different. It was just daddy and son out there playing around. He really got into track when his first time running organized track was back when he was 7 years old, and it kind of introduced it to him and let him know the importance of it and that it would help him in football. And he really didn't buy into it at that time, but when the following football season, when he see the difference in the speed and when he would break out, he was now scoring. He understood that it did help him, so he became interested in running. And last year in 2019, we really stepped into the real track arena with the AAU thing, and he's a part of a track club out of Atlanta. And so, it really takes a lot of hard work, and he's been all in, and so that's kind of where we're at right now.
The football part of it kind of came natural. We played while we were up in Illinois also, but the track, we kind of stumbled up on it. Bullitt County Rec Department had a local track meet 2 years ago, and I found out at the last minute. We rushed over and signed him up, and he won it, and then went on to districts and won that, and the regions and won that, and then ended up going on to state and finishing eighth overall. So it was kind of a stumble up on the track, and he started performing well. I got him into AAU track, and within a year of training, he missed qualifying for the Junior Olympics in the 100 and the 200 by a tenth of a second. So I'm just excited to see how good he's become in such a short span of time.
The dad versus the coach transformation wasn't easy at all. When we started running big time, well, I say AAU, it took a different type of training. And so within that, it took me having to coach it. And it was no longer us out there just doing fundamentals and stuff. I had to push him. And at first it was very tough for him to adjust to it. He cried some days because he thought I was mad at him. And once he understood that the only thing I was doing was trying to get the best out of him and pushing him, and that's when it took off. And we started having a better relationship with the dad and coach thing. And, now I can coach him. And that's a good feeling that once we leave the workouts, that's done, and we're back to normal.
While we're on the track, I'm his coach, but also I'm his dad, so I can coach him hard, but also, show him things he are doing well. And I constantly remind him of why I'm out here. I'm out here for him to be successful. So if at any time he don't want to do it, then, we don't have to do it. But he understands it, and every day he always asks, what are we doing next? So to me, that's just a plus that he really enjoyed working out.
The boys have also been joined in their training recently by another Peterson, as Adrian's 9-year-old daughter Amelia has been putting in the work.
I kind of dropped the ball last year with Amelia. She did the local meet, and she didn't make it to regionals. And I kind of stopped there with her. I didn't get her involved in AAU. And then when I looked back and looked at her numbers, she was actually running against girls that was 2 years older than she were. So I started her in on it now, and we're full go. Aiden is fortunate enough to have Dallas, to train against and train with. And I say train against, every time we step on the track or step on the football field, we are trying to get better. So it is a competition, but I look at it as a healthy competition, and it's good. It's good to have someone you can train with who is probably a little bit better, a little bit faster, because that's going to push you a little bit harder. I was the older guy, and Adrian come up behind, a few years behind me, and then we had the opportunity to play together. And then, you look at the boys, they're in similar situations that with Dallas being the elder to Aiden. It's a lot of similarities there. We haven't really discussed, what would take place once they reach the high school playing age, but, you only could imagine, the 10-3 tandem coming back again. But that's down the line. Right now we're just focusing on them being the best athletes and the best people they can be. And, who knows what God has in store, and hopefully it works out. Aiden and Dallas have played football in the recreation department the past 2 years, but have not played on the same team. Both have watched footage of their fathers playing together, and the thought of them playing together has been something Adrian and Greg have both talked about, as well as their sons.
He points things out, like reading the end when he's making a read during option and stuff. It makes me think, like, to become a better quarterback and stuff.
It inspired me because, like, I want to play football like my dad, and I want to be just like him.
I already been training with him, so we already have good chemistry.
You think that'd be fun to be on the football field, kind of like your dads used to do?
Yeah. So, like, we could be just like our dads.
And that'll wrap things up for now. We thank you for joining us and hope to see you again next week. And stay with us. Coming up next, we'll stay on the track and talk to one of the Southeast Bullock student athletes who's continuing to train despite not knowing what the future holds. 180 Fitness prides itself on offering the best facility, classes, programs, and staff in Statesboro. More than just a gym, they're a family. Knowledgeable staff always on site to help you. Free group fitness classes, over 45 to choose from. Free supervised child care. Work out worry-free while they watch your children. With the new expanded weight floor, cardio equipment, and resistance machines, 180 has everything you need. The only gym in Statesboro with a sauna, the Evolve training system offers both small group and one-on-one training to fit any budget. Located inside 180 is Statesboro's best kept secret, The Zone. The Zone is an inspiring community where you are motivated, supported, and celebrated through a unique fitness experience. With the use of heart rate monitor, you're able to train in your own individualized zone while tracking real-time results. The combination of cardio, endurance, and strength workouts will give you the lasting results you've been looking for. Your first class is free. Your body, your zone, real results. Come see why 180 Fitness has been voted the best of the borough for the last 12 years. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy, in-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests and ultrasounds, and in-house labs. Featuring nurse practitioner Melissa Beasley, Family Internal Medicine of Statesboro can accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
Southeast Bullock Junior track and field and cross country standout Avery Jaynes broke quite a few Southeast Bullock records last year, and this year was on his way to doing it once again. He just broke the 2-mile record once again and got under 10 minutes in the process. And even though he doesn't know if they'll be able to get back into school this year or this season is finished altogether, he's still out there running, trying to stay in shape and trying to keep his goals intact.
It's really not that difficult, in my opinion. I think it's actually more training time, honestly. So I don't think it's very difficult.
How much training have you been able to do? What's your schedule been like now that school's been out?
Schedules, I run every day except Friday. Training's been great. Get to wake up early in the morning and run when it's not hot. Recently
you broke the school record in the 2-mile. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's been a goal of mine to go sub 10, which is like a 9-minute 2-mile, and so I was able to do that, and it was a huge accomplishment, and I wanted to go further, but you can't now.
So have you talked to Coach Latimer? Is there any thoughts? I mean, do they encourage you guys to try to train on your own?
They are very encouraging about training on our own. He's talked to us a little bit, but we're not allowed to use the track since the school is closed down, so they've just said, train, and that's all we really can do.
So where have you been training?
Usually either here at Mill Creek or at my house. I'll run in Brooklet as well, and maybe we'll go to one of my friend's house and run there. Our whole team has a group chat. I have another group chat with some other runners, and we try to meet up and run anytime we can. I know some people are using this break to just take a break, but a lot of athletes, I think, are realizing they need to keep training because we may have to go back into the season very quickly.
People that want to go on to college, their junior year is a pretty important year.
Yes, it's a huge year because that's when colleges are really starting to look at you. But, I just got to work with what I have, and I think that goes for any junior. You just got to keep training and be prepared for next season if it comes to that.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us, and don't forget to tune in again next week.